Saul Castaneda with Mcscgreenwheels, and I'm at home, like most of us. I hope everybody's practicing their social distancing and staying safe. We're taking a new kind of tour on these videos. We do a lot of catching up and a lot of in-between work to our cars here at the house, and we try to take pictures and try to fill in people that have been watching and following certain, either one of our builds, be it our 93 Mustang GT that we call Staff Sergeant Reckless, our other 93 notchback that we call the Grunt, and we haven't done much on our 93 that we call the Machine, which is the white one, or our 86 Sandbox, which is our four-eyed notch. Everybody follows a different video, so we post pictures up. If we don't get the videos up on time, we will. So just be patient with us. Take some time. But with those pictures, people kind of ask us, how do we do certain things? Or just as recently, we put up pictures for our tidying up and refurbishing, just cleaning up the steering wheel to our 1993 Ford Foxbody that we call Staff Sergeant Reckless. As coincidentally, Mr. Eric David Seitz, shot us a little comment, said, wanted to see what we use as far as tools and equipment and how we took this off and how we cleaned it up to get it to look the way it did. And if you guys saw the pictures, it looked almost brand new. Just a little elbow grease, a little paint here. And, the important thing was for us, no rust. Got to get rid of the rust. So for us, it was a little easier because the dash was removed. So there was no dash in the car, so we just kind of took off the bolts that hold the steering wheel, and so that's pretty much 4 bolts to the column. But along with that, we took the cradle that holds the pedals as well, because as you guys can see in the pictures, they were all that whole cradle part was just completely nasty and rusty. We're gonna go ahead and do the sound deadening on the car, so we figured why not? So we go ahead and just took it off, and since we always want to make sure we put that little extra attention to detail, well, might as well take it that extra notch. That's why we did what we did. So we'll go ahead and show you a couple of things that we used. Basically, as you see, it's the used steering wheel. It's got some little dents and things, but cleaned it right up. Probably needs a little bit more cleaning. We just cleaned up the column and whatnot, but we had to pull it out. So right now we have it upside down, as you can tell. So if we turn it around, that's how it goes. We have 4 bolts to remove the cradle, which is 2 up here, 2 in the back, right up there, and that comes out. We can remove this column very easily if we just remove these 2 bolts here and these 2 bolts here. Both of these, I think all 4 of these are 1/2 inch. The deep socket one in there. And so are the ones that hold the cradle on. So just these guys right up here, they have 2 speed nuts in the back, and that stays on the cowl by the windshield. On the back end too, if you haven't undone your linkage to your rack and pinion, you're gonna have to undo all that from the bottom end, or just pull out the pin. And the boot. The boot had to come out. You have to remove the boot. Those are, I think, 1/4 inch little tiny sheet metal bolts. The boot, you can buy a boot. I think they do sell it on LMR. At the moment, I apologize, I do not have any paperwork to tell me what that is or how much. So as far as this, we can take it apart even further. We can actually isolate just the steering wheel with the shaft just by taking off these last 4 bolts, and then we can take this off, and up to you how to paint it. Ours, as you saw, was completely filthy and rusty, and so were the pedals. All of this was completely rusty. It just, surface rust was sitting in there, never really getting touched. It was really disgusting. So basically, we took this off, took this outside. We used just a regular drill and a wire brush adapter to it. Kind of went on it, knocked off all the chunky parts as much as we could off the rust, cleaned it up as best we could, just so we can get everything off of that. That brown is just hideous. So we got in there. If you have to get some sandpaper to get inside here, or you could just detach the whole cage. Makes it easier for you. But that's what we did. We used just an abrasive wheel or wire wheel on the drill, knocked off all the rust, and then we went ahead and we cleaned it up first, and then we doused it with the rust dissolver from Rust-Oleum. This was picked up over at Walmart, guys, so I think it was like $8-9 maybe. So depending on where you're at, maybe a little different. We pretty much just sprayed it on there, spread it over with one of our little brushes, and you gotta let it sit for about 30 minutes, and then you can come back, wash it right off, and I will tell you something, it does magic. You know, it will not get past a lot of the chunky stuff, but the surface rust, and even some of that little rough rust, it will work its way through it, and believe me, man, well worth every penny. It did just its job. Once we did that, we cleaned it off with some water, you know, wiped it down, and then again we applied a little bit more just to make sure we got everything off of that. Once we did all that, once we got it all cleaned up again, you know, you got to give it another 30 minutes, let that thing settle in, work its magic in, you know, and get all that rust off. Once we did that, we went ahead and got some primer. And the reason we use some primer is just for the you know, the basic fact that we don't want this to rust up anymore. We don't want to see it get rusty. No one's really going to go on there to see it, so primer works just right. I don't like that brown color. We put a little bit of 415 on the pedals because they're going to see a little bit of action, you know, be it, you know, you don't ever expect to be caught in a ring day, but you never know. So yeah, we did that with the pedals. We got the new fresh rubbers to put on there, which we will, and then the adaptation to the other electronic pedal on the other side. We also were able to remove the dead pedal on the side, and same thing as that column, just completely rusted. You know, it was all brown and whatnot. Gave it a nice abrasive hit with the drill and the wire wheel, and you know, dunked it in some more of our beautiful rust over there, and just let it go to town. Wipe it down. Throw some Pour 15. Of course, you guys got to remove this piece because, you know, a lot of water collects back here. So we just went ahead and popped that off. Don't, you know, I'm pretty sure you can buy this, but it's kind of brittle. So, but this one was pretty good, so it was able to pop out.
Yeah, I couldn't find it.
You know, we couldn't find it. So, yeah, just be careful. You can pinch it in. Pops out real easily. Just once you get the one out, the other one will follow. But if you break it, well, I don't know. Good luck.
eBay.
eBay, man. But as you guys can tell, we just put a little bit of Pour 15 on there, and man, back to original. Along with that, like I was telling you, we removed the boot at the bottom of the steering shaft, which is right here. You have your 4 little sheet metal screw holes that they go right into the firewall. And this was just, you know, it's still good, and all we did was just pretty much clean it up, and we touched it up with some of this internal vinyl black paint that we picked up from LMR. So again, you know, these are just things that we are using that people ask us, what do we use and what are we using on our cars? This is just a basic little breakdown of some of the things that we've used just to refurbish our steering column here. And as you can tell, it looks pretty brand new, besides the runs, but we'll take care of that. So, basic gist of that, all these little materials, what we use. Again, guys, we're not getting any product sponsorship. Anyways. It's just everybody's asking us, hey, how did you get that clean, or what did you use to you know, to knock off that rust? A lot of it is just a little bit of elbow grease, sandpaper, abrasive pads, wire wheels. We're gonna try, and we need a little bigger compressor to do our little sandblasting sessions, but we will get to it. This video here, we just kind of wanted to show somebody that, like we said to Eric, I hope this helps. Just a small little breakdown to show you some material that we use on the things that we're doing to our cars here. It's a new kind of sort of way to kind of give it a tech feel. A lot of times we don't do a lot of talking when we're working. It's kind of like a one-man show or just 2 people at the time, and when we're in it, we're trying to get as much as we can. You know, busy days, busy nights. So we're just trying to see if anybody else has any questions or any of the other videos. We'd be glad to break them down for you guys. Let us know what you want to know about them. Write us down a comment, give us a couple likes. Remember, subscribe. The next ones are coming up, guys. We will see you soon. Thank you very much.